this is OJ Simpson. First time I ever talked to him. Hey, Tom, I saw you on Inside Edition with Anna Nicole Smith's Diaries. I have something even better. I have OJ Simpson's personal artifacts. His outfit he wore when he was acquitted on trial, awards, the football he ran for 2,000 yards. I go, that sounds like real personal stuff. Let's just say the motherfucker doesn't pay his bills. And he goes, man, Tom, you got to help me get it back. He starts crying to me on the phone. You're a good dude. You're going to help me. I'll do a free signing for you, blah, blah, blah. I go, what do you want me to do, OJ?
On November 19th, 2022, while staying in the penthouse of the world-famous Rainbow Bar and Grill on Sunset Strip in Hollywood, California, Adam Flowers had an opportunity to meet with Thomas Riccio. He agreed to the following interview to tell about how he set up OJ Simpson and his involvement in the arrest and conviction of OJ Simpson. Herein is that interview. Please don't mind their friend Artie. He is responsible for this interview and loves to have a good time.
They put a new gate here, but literally on the other side of that, you can put your camera up over that. And you'll see that's exactly where. Boom! What the fuck? But
what
literally,
a jag-off. Fucking jag-off.
Okay, so can you start by telling us your name?
My alias or my real name? It's Thomas J. Riccio.
What's your alias?
Nah, I'm just fucking around. Not anymore. There was a couple times I had aliases. Tom Rizzo was one of my aliases.
Tom Rizzo.
Yes.
All right, so Tom, how do you know OJ Simpson? Or how?
Well, I deal in memorabilia, and I go to this show called Frankensons out by the City Industry, and when I got there, there was a buzz going around that OJ's new agent was looking for somebody to have a comeback autograph signing because he'd been out of the business for years since the murders. And I just started the new auction house. And the rumor was he wanted $5K. And I'm like, that sounds like a pretty good deal. $5K to have an autograph sign. I asked my partner, and we have a lot of clientele. We put a little thing out to see, if they wanted OJ to sign the Heisman Trophy thing. It was like nothing to do with the murder, just his football career, which was fine. And we had about a 50-50 split. Some people not interested. I don't collect murderers' autographs, blah, 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 whatever. And then the other 50% were like, yeah, I'm down. So we thought it was worth it. We called this guy, and his name was Al Beardsley. And he was this big 6'6", 300 and something pound loudmouth dude. I'm OJ's new agent, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah. We could do it here at Frankensons. And he wanted a $500 deposit. I'm like, okay. Anyway, really shortly after that, maybe...
Hold on, wait until this passes.
Do they know I'm here?
Yeah, your ride's coming for you.
Damn.
Okay, we're good.
Maybe a day or two after that, I get a call from a guy named Ben Lifton, who said, I guess OJ parted ways with his agent, Mike Gilbert. I go, listen, I don't know anything about OJ. I heard of Mike Gilbert. I don't know him. But yeah, Mike Gilbert sold stories to the Inquirer, and OJ canned them, and this and that, or whatever. And this guy, Al Beardsley, he's a...
Hold on 1 second. Art, come on, man.
Fucking Art.
You make noise in the other fucking room if you gotta make noise.
Look at Artie.
Gonna have to edit this fucking thing like crazy, man.
I love this dude, though, man.
I love him too.
Dude, this dude.
He's consistent. You know what he's gonna do.
So it's an ice cream and diarrhea. Go fuck yourself.
He's responsible as well.
Anyway, so this guy Ben tells me Al Beardsley is a fucking nut. He's trying to buy OJ's jock straps. He's an OJ fanatic. He's not gonna do your show. And I'm like, really? Wish you'd have called me. I just gave this guy a $500 deposit. He goes, well, you can throw that out the window. OJ won't do it. You know how I know? I go, how? He goes, hold on. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Thomas Riccio, heard a lot about you. This big baritone voice. This is OJ Simpson. First time I ever talked to him. Yeah. I go, hey, OJ. He goes, yeah, you know that guy Al, he's a fanatic. He said, no, I won't work with him, but I will do a show with you. It is true. I got new representative. Ben's represented me for now, and it was a much higher price, whatever it was. But he says, I'm taking my daughter to college, but I can do it a little later, when it was a few months later. And we did the show, the Necro Comic Con. It was a horror show. And the guy that was working with that, promoting it with me, he was like, I want to talk to OJ. I go, don't tell him it's a horror show. Just say it's a comic show. And, gets on the phone with OJ. Hey, I want you to promote this. It's going to be the #1 horror show. And OJ goes, horror show? And he goes, I'm like, OJ, it's just a comic show. Anyway, I met with him at the show, and we actually had a great time. He told me stories, jokes. I bought him like a case of beer, and he signed all the extra stuff that didn't get signed at the show. There was a lot of bullshit from the media there, harassing the fans. Hey, do you collect OJ, or how many other murderers do you collect? And this and that. They've been trying to make the fans feel fucked up, but it went really well. And at the end of the show, he gives me his number. And he goes, you ever want to do another show? Call me personally. I'll give you a better deal, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. And lo and behold, I don't know. We were thinking that Al Beardsley might be at the show because he had a shit fit when he found out that I did the show without him. He said, how would it be? We had security looking for him. He wasn't there. Anyway, I don't know. Year and a half later, I'm doing a car show up in Reno. I'm opening it up for them with memorabilia. I'm on stage, whatever, showing some oddball memorabilia. I have, a ticket from Woodstock. If you had a time machine, you can use this ticket and get back in there. All right, Elvis Presley's hair. You can take the DNA and make your own Elvis Presley. And I'm on stage. My phone's blowing up. Get off stage. Hey, Tom, I saw you on Inside Edition with Adam Nicole Smith's Diaries. I have something even better. I go, who's this? You know me. That's Al Beardsley. I'm like, oh my God, Al Beardsley. I thought he was dead. He wasn't at the OJ show. I found out he was in prison for stalking somebody. Right? That's why he was. He just got out. And he goes, I have OJ Simpson's personal artifacts. His outfit he wore when he was acquitted on trial, awards, the football he ran for 2,000 yards. I go, that sounds like real personal stuff. Let's just say the motherfucker doesn't pay his bills and we got his shit. And I'm like, oh my God. I've been to prison for selling stolen goods. I'm thinking I'm being set up. I don't know what. I'm like, let me get back to you, Al. Immediately, I'm thinking, let me call OJ. I called OJ and I said, OJ, you know that crazy guy, Al? He says he's got a bunch of your stuff. And the football, and this thing. You know what? I've been looking for that shit for 10 years. My agents were supposed to be watching when I was in jail for the murders. I was waiting to go to trial. They took all that shit to hide it from the Goldmans. And then they said it got lost. And he goes, man, Tom, you got to help me get it back. He starts crying to me on the phone. You're a good dude. You're going to help me. I'll do a free signing for you, blah, blah, blah. I go, what do you want me to do, OJ? He goes, tell these guys you got a buyer. I'll come in. I'll make sure it's my stuff. And then I'll tell them, look, this is my stuff. You need to turn it over to me or we're calling the cops. And I already went to the police. The police were like, that's a personal matter. You got to go get lawyers involved and sue the guy that has it. They didn't want nothing to do with it. I was like, they're not going to help me. This is the only way we can get it back. Help me out, bro. And he's literally, I can hear his voice crying. I go, all right, I'm down. I really don't like this dude anyway. So basically what happened was we find out the stuff's in Vegas. OJ was coming to Vegas for a wedding of a friend. And he was stoked. And we were going to do it at his place. Last minute, he decided to do it at my place. And, they were going to have a room next door, and he was going to come in. But the room, it was so much like amazing shit. Long story short, he was supposed to come up there. I meet him down to bring him up to the room. He has a whole gang of people with him. I'm like, what's this about? We're just stick with the plan that you're just going to identify your stuff and tell him, oh, yeah. I let him in, and he goes, "Oh, you motherfuckers! You think you can steal my shit and get away with it?" Blah blah blah. And they're like, "I'm sorry, OJ. Mike had it. Gave it to us to sell. That motherfucker, Mike. I wish he was here." Blah blah blah. And anyway, what he said was basically working. The guys were just giving him his shit back and just apologizing. And then the goons that were with him grabbed pillowcases, started shoving shit in the pillowcases. They started taking shit that didn't belong to them, like their phones and their high-end sunglasses and all kinds of shit. And like, wait a minute, OJ, that don't belong. And there was other memorabilia that wasn't OJ's. I don't know. There was some Joe Montana lithos or something. They were stealing everything. And when one of them objected, they pulled guns out. "Don't you fucking touch it, motherfucker," And they jacked some of the people up against. So they turned it into an armed robbery. And long story short, OJ ended up getting 9 to 33 years behind that.
But he did 9 of them, right?
He did 9 and got out on parole.
So some of the memorabilia was gotten back because the courts didn't give it to OJ,
Right.
They
Gave it back to Vermont. I don't know why. Mike Gilbert testified that it was in a storage locker and that it belonged to him. But Mike couldn't point to the bill. And, Vermont took it over and basically stole the stuff. This is one of the pieces that was on my bed. And how did this end up right here? Mike Gilbert and Vermont, who were always in need of money, were always at my place. "Hey, can I raise $5,000? Blah, blah, blah." Sold me, hundreds of these things. And including OJ books that they made 3,000 copies. I think they sold 1,000 to the public. I bought 2,000 of those. They gave me a really good deal. Mike is I still sort of consider him a friend. He's had some tragedy with his daughter passed away and stuff like that. But Vermont, who acted like he was my friend when he was selling me stuff, decided one day, he's like, "Tom, hey, you're the only one with any money out of all this. My lawyer wants to sue you." I go, "What do you mean? Why would your lawyer want to sue me?" I figured out, "You mean you want to sue me?" And I was just talking about that. Long story short, he basically lost. The jury found him more liable than me. And he ended up, my insurance company offered him $300,000. He didn't take it. And he ended up owing us money, which we never got, so.
Do you still have the recording of OJ that you sold to TMZ?
Do I have the recording of OJ? You can go online and get it. I do actually. I have a DVD of the whole 10 hours. I actually do. It's a CD of the whole 10 hours of my tape was downloaded. I actually do still have it. Yeah. And it's part of there where the cops are like, "That motherfucker got away with this in LA. We're going to get his ass."
Is there any way we can get a copy? Is there any way we can get a copy?
I think if you go to Las Vegas archives, they don't, by law, it's made public, but I can give you a copy.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be awesome. Everything I found is bleeped out. When he comes in, it's bleeped out.
I've got the unbleeped version.
That's what I'm looking for.
I actually made that tape. People don't believe me. Why am I going to lie about this? Not because I knew there was going to be a robbery or there was going to be guns in the room. I wouldn't have been there if I knew that.
Right.
That's a story in itself. I'm going to interject. You got to tell them you were smart enough to think outside the box, to buy that fucker, plant it behind a fake plan on a credenza. Nobody knew it was there. When the cops even searched the room after the robbery, they didn't find it.
Turn the camera on here. Let him tell the story.
No.
I like the way he tells it, man.
No, but you're leaving important fucking shit out. You can edit and slice it.
Of course I can, yeah.
I wasn't doing that. I'm not that smart to guess that OJ was going to come in with guns and rob everybody.
Then why'd you do it?
I did it because there was a guy named Al Beardsley who was nuts. And I didn't know what he was going to do when he saw OJ. One minute he loves the guy. One minute he's talking about killing the guy. I didn't know what he was going to do. So he was the reason why I had. And I know you don't know about this guy, Al Beardsley, or of him. He ended up going to a mental institution and dying a few years ago. He actually got very sick and went to a hospital. And while he was at the hospital, he was harassing people on his phone. They put him in a mental institution. Then he died. But he was nuts, and he's the reason why I it's kind of funny. They accused me of doctoring these tapes. This is right when they invented digital tape, as far as I know anyway, real soon. And actually, it was 2 days after I bought the first iPhone 1. I could have recorded it with my I didn't know how to use the iPhone 1 recorder. I could have video recorded it. TMZ said they would have given me $1 million. It was real funny. Harvey, I did a deal with Harvey Levin. He's the guy who runs TMZ. I had Adam Nicole Smith's diaries. And we were trying to work a deal out. And he came up with the idea, not me. He goes, you know what? Why don't you let me advertise? Because I was looking for sponsors. You got a sponsor. I'll advertise. I said, I just did Clips for Sale. We'll say, go to Clips for Sale to read all the diaries. We'll get you a lot of it. So the Clips for Sale people said, we'll give you $10,000 if you do that. At every show, international show you go, I'll give you $10,000. So we went on TMZ and they did. They said, oh, Anna Nicole Smith's talking about this crazy shit. She's jealous of her boyfriend and made him stick her tongue up her asshole for an hour for a punishment. Yeah, I know, punishment, right? And then and one other time they shoved stuff up her and this and it was, they were looking for shit about who the baby daddy was. She just died, or instead it was a bunch of really way out pornographic shit she was writing about, and about tricking this old man into buying her hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of shit and toys for his kids. It's all in the diary there. But they liked that, and I got a sponsor for you to go on and look at that. I got on a lot of news shows. It was like the Queen of England fucking died. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I didn't even want it when I first heard about these diaries because she just lost her show. But then when the son died, it was like, wow, this everyone cares about Anna Nicole Smith's son, and the guy couldn't find the diaries anymore. And then she died a couple months after that. The guy calls me up. Of course, he wanted 10 times more, and I'm like, bring it. And I sold it to Splash, who licensed it to all over the world. They're an English company, and I made hundreds of thousands of dollars. But Harvey helped me out with that. And later on, when he found out I was involved with the OJ thing, he said, Tom, you got to call me. There was like 50 calls when the police had my phone. When I got it back, a dozen of them from Harvey Levin. Call me. Tom, by golly, he doesn't really curse or anything, but he's like, you got to call me, gosh darn it, right now, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, you son of a gun. You got that, you were there, you got the story, blah, blah, blah. I said, listen, I got the tape. He goes, you're BSing me, Tom. You got more than just the tape. You want to sell this tape, then you want to sell me the video. I go, I want $2 million for the tape. I ended up doing a deal with him. I only wanted $100,000. He gave me $150,000. He goes, now tell me you got the videotape. So I can use the audio tape, but I really need the videotape. If you want your kind of money, I need the videotape. He goes, you broke records with the audio tape. I need the video. I go, why? Because I'm starting this new TV show called TMZ Live. I've already got a deal in LA, but I want to go all over the world with it. I need something like this. I go, all right. I don't have the audio. I swear to God. He goes, you had the iPhone? You could have a video on me. You could have done the video. I didn't know that. I just got my daughter had a friend that had 2 iPhones. My daughter was a teenager at the time. That was a big iPhone. And all right, baby, here, get the other one for daddy too. So I gave her an extra $600. I didn't know how to use the thing. People thought with the audio, I edited it. I barely knew how to fucking turn on the digital thing. So anyway, I did the deal with Harvey. It went all over the world, and everybody was trying to put me in jail thinking I set it up. But it's true. It was just dumb luck that everything just fell into place, that this happened. I mean, almost dumb bad luck. They had a gun to my head. Maybe they would have killed me if I made the wrong move or whatever. But I had it on audio with a little bit more knowledge of things. I could have had it on video, and it would have been It would have been even better.
But it is true. When you interject how when they called downstairs and say, hey, this is room such and such, we've been robbed by OJ. They're thinking, yeah, right.
This motherfucker, Bruce Fremont, right after OJ leaves, OJ said, call the police, call it. OJ ripped the thing out of the wall, took their phones. And I was the only one with a fucking phone. They knew I was in on it, sort of. So they're like screaming.
Hold on one second.
That's already. Artie don't give a fuck. Artie don't give a fuck.
You need to take a hit.
I really don't, but I'm gonna remember the points that you guys aren't.
I was doing a thing with Good Morning America, and I had a friend over. He didn't give a fuck either. He was just like Artie, fucking like he was fucking coughing and farting and everything out there. Yeah.
Bodily noises.
Yeah.
That'd be okay.
No,
All right, let's go.
Henry Hill was over. Henry Hill was over one time. They were doing an interview. They wanted to interview Henry Hill.
Bro, I brought him. I brought him over to your house.
No, I knew Henry Hill before. I was doing autograph signings.
No. With Lisa, when we were doing the zip reel.
He was arguing with Lisa while we were doing an interview, screaming, "What the you fucking bitch!" or whatever. They were fighting and shit with each other.
Do you not remember the zip reel Hollywood with the Riccios we did?
Yeah, I do remember. That was very good, but they didn't want to pick it up because of me.
Henry died after
they
that.
They didn't want to do this story about my family. I have two beautiful girls that have hundreds of thousands of fans.
Well, tell them who your
I saw your daughter's show at the Stratosphere.
But in the end, they passed on the show because they thought I was too controversial because I was OJ's friend, which I'm really not OJ's friend. I just done some business deals with him, But anyway, I thought they did a good job with it, man. That was a good deal. We had a big premiere with you helped look that up with us.
I did.
Yeah,
that was cool. And he died right after that.
Yeah, a year or two after.
No, about 8 months.
Was it
2012?
Oh, okay.
June, the day after his birthday, June 12, 2012.
That was all going on in 2011. With
it was like 6 months later.
Yeah. Anyway, with the tape, I put the tape on an armoire right above the TV. There was a little lip, and this recorder was only that big. It was that big. It was maybe 4 inches big by less than an inch thick. And I laid it right on the lip and had it going on for like 10 hours, right? And they wouldn't let me go in my room. They had a room across the way, and they locked me in that room, interrogated me. One person came, another person, read me my fucking rights. I go, "You out of your mind? I didn't do nothing." Well, Bruce Vermont says you were part of the setup. Bruce Vermont is Bruce Vermont went on every show saying, "I said that I ratted out OJ." I go, "I'm a rat," which I don't give a fuck if you want to call me a rat. Call me a rat if you want to call me a rat. But you know what? Who's the one that was screaming for the police after that? I'm like, I have OJ's number. He doesn't want your fucking Montana Litos. He'll give it back to you. And I'm calling. Meanwhile, they're calling the police. Him and Beardsley. And Beardsley, "Oh, we can go on all the news. We can sell the stories and shit like that or whatever." Which, all right, good for them, whatever. But I mean, they're the ones that called the police, not me. I wasn't trying to call the police. I was trying to handle it, civilly. OJ get his shit back, and whatever stuff they stole, they get their stuff. But they wanted to make it into a big fucking episode. Some people hate me that I even say that. Maybe I should have ratted them out. Maybe I should have fucking set OJ up. But it's just not true. I wasn't trying to set OJ up. What happened. But what's really weird is when I went into that room, I never saw anything like it before. I've seen crime scenes on TV. They had black powder. It wasn't a big room. On the ceilings, there was black powder. What the fuck? On the ceiling, everywhere was black powder. Everywhere. So anyway, there was 2 fucking like Pepsi cups on my armoire. They got my fucking tape. And they're like, "Go and get your shit and get the fuck out. You have 30 seconds. So I reach on one side of the fucking company. I reach on the other side of the company. In the middle, it's a few inches. Right in the middle, there it is. Put it in my pocket. "What the fuck you doing?" I thought maybe you saw me put something in my pocket. "Get your shit." One of the fucking detectives grabs my suitcase, throws it in the fucking wall. "Get the fuck out of here. You're not even supposed to be here. Who let you in here?" 30 seconds I had to grab that recorder. I got it. It's amazing.
The rest is his.
I'm listening to the fucking recorder, trying to find the scene. And when I find it, "Oh, you motherfuckers! Don't let anybody leave this room." I'm gonna, the one guy's threatening to kill everybody and everything else. I'm like, man, this is good shit. and Harvey's calling me up. I got something for Harvey, So it ended up working.
Have you talked to the Juice since this incident?
They told me, like right after it happened, OJ was calling me every few minutes. "Tom, they're saying I broke into your room. You gotta let people know." So I walked outside. I swear to you, If I'm exaggerating, there was at least 100, maybe more. I'm exaggerating low. Satellite trucks, everything, right in front of the fucking place as I'm leaving. One guy looked at me, looked like I think he knew me from the out of the cold shit that was going on. I was on the news a lot. Looked at me and then looked away. And I was like, shit, OJ's crying for me to tell somebody that he didn't break into my room. The reports were starting to come out this morning. They just let me go. The police just released me. It was around 9 in the morning and there was a fucking circus in front of the. I'm going for my car. I'm like, I guess I got to do this. I turn around and go, I want to let you guys know, for whoever's interested, that OJ didn't break into the room. I let him in. All of a sudden, all people are sticking mics in my face. I'm like, hey, who are you? I go, it was my room. I let him in. He was trying to get his stuff back. I'm just, I really don't have a lot of time. I'm dead tired. I've been up for 2 days, but it's true. I let him in the room. Well, who did he point the gun at? He didn't have a gun. Were there guns? I go, I don't want to say anymore. That's it. And I got out of there. So OJ's called me. Thank you so much. I owe you, man. I owe you. You're going to give me 5 signings, blah, blah, blah. And he's calling me. And then when he heard I released the tape, I talked to him one time. I said, look at OJ. I don't know whether you know these guys had guns or not. The tape is the tape. You're not telling anybody to draw guns or anything. They pulled the guns out on their own. I'm not telling you what to do, but I didn't know there were any guns coming in my room, and I don't know whether you did or not. He pauses for a minute. He goes, no, I didn't know either. I go, okay, well then there's nothing on the tape that's you tell your story. I'm telling mine. I didn't know about the guns. I don't know whether you did or not. If you did, it was stupid. Oh no, I didn't even see no guns. He's like, I go, I saw a gun, OJ. I saw it pressed up against my head, and he's like, you didn't tell him that, did you? I go, yeah, I did. I told him that. So then all of a sudden, he left me one other call, and I went to call him back, and he didn't answer. I said, OJ, right now, the police are telling me I shouldn't talk to you, so I'm gonna lay it cool. I'm just gonna let you know. It's not like I'm ghosting you, but I can't talk to you right now. I told you everything I know about, everything else, and the tape is the tape. And, whatever you know, whatever I know. And I left him a voicemail. And I didn't talk to him again until the trial. Now, at the trial, he's out on bail. I got a lawyer that got me immunity and everything else. And I'm sitting in the cafeteria, commons, whatever you want to call it. And in walks OJ with his entourage and his lawyer, Yale Galanter, who, by the way, had called me once before to tell me that Al Beardsley wasn't his agent and stuff like that. So I knew a little bit about Yale Galanter. And they're talking, they're looking at me, and they're pointing to me and everything else. And I see OJ, and he nods at me, and I wave to him. And then all of a sudden, Yale comes over the table. OJ just wanted to tell me that when he got violated on bail, something happened. I forget. When he was out on bail for several months, somebody said that he said something and they violated his bail, or revoked his bail. They put him in jail for like 3 days. And he said, you know what he did when he was in jail? He read your book had just come out. And he wanted you to know he thought your book was very, very entertaining. I go, well, thank you. I go, part of the deal for me getting the shit back, I didn't tell you this, he was supposed to sign 200 of his book that just come out that day, the day of the robbery. It was called If I Did It. OJ told me he didn't even write it, but they were offering him like $1 million to put his name on it. His kids at first said no, but then the kid said take the money, and he put his name on it. And but he didn't write that book. If I Did It, if I killed Nicole, this is what I would have done. Blah blah blah, whatever. And I said, will you sign it? Instead of doing a signing, one of the things we do is signing. Will you sign like 200 books for me? He goes, I would, but I didn't write it. I go, well, what about you write? I didn't write this shit, OJ Simpson. And he goes, I'll do that. And so we had a deal for that. But then he ended up getting busted, going to jail, and he never signed. So when he told me he loved my book, I said, will you sign my book? And he goes, wait a minute. He goes over and talks to him. And OJ's like shaking his head. He says, yeah, he'd be happy. He'd be honored to sign your book. So I ran to my car. I usually keep a copy in my car. And I ran in my car, and I got them, and he did. He signed. And in fact, he's the one that came up with that idea. He wrote, "Don't squeeze the juice." OJ Simpson. He wrote out there. I thought that was funny. I used that sometimes when I'm describing the book. So I mean, and he's in court. He a couple of times smiled at me, nodded at me, and he's never ever said I set him up. To his credit, media people have said that many times. Why you said OJ? I went on a show called Nancy Grace, and she was like, "We have OJ Simpson, Crudy, Tom ex-con, Tom Riccio." Like, oh boy, it's gonna be one of these interviews. So she has a smirk in her face. "Tell me, Mr. Riccio, why did you steal OJ's stuff?" I go, "Nancy, I didn't steal it. No one's accused me of stealing OJ's stuff." "Sure you didn't. Why should we believe you? You're an ex-con." And that's basically a lot of interviews, But OJ never said I stole his stuff, or he knew the deal, and he's many times told the media, "Oh, Tom was helping me out. Tom's a buddy of mine, blah, 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 whatever." So I don't really consider him a buddy, but he was very nice. My daughter used to go on the red carpet as like a 12, 13 years old, interviewing people. And OJ hadn't done an interview in years. "Oh, dude, I did an interview for my little daughter, and my daughter got the gig with Extra to interview OJ. So, I mean, it was nice of him. Didn't charge nothing. The things he did for me and my kids and stuff that were very, listen, when I was a little boy playing football in the backyard, whenever I got the ball, I would sneak left and go right and say, "I'm OJ. He was my hero." People don't realize that. When girls say, "How can you be friends with OJ?" They don't realize OJ was a hero to people my age. They think he's only a hero for committing murders. He actually played football and was good at it. People don't know that.
Did you see? He was on the Wheaties box when I was a kid. He was.
I didn't see that one, but I used to see him in all the commercials. I loved OJ.
Yeah.
I lived in New Jersey. He played for Buffalo, but he was. The Jets and the Giants were shit, and
Did you see the interview that he did in 04 or 06 that they left in the can until 12, a Fox News interview where he talks about the book, If I Did It, and he sits there and he says in the interview, Charlie handed me the knife. I remember that. And then everything went black, and then there was stuff everywhere. And she said, "What stuff?"
Talked to me about it. He goes, "Tom, they called me and he said, we're going to give you $50,000 plus percent. This is going to be a bestseller. We'll give you 12%. This is higher." And he told his kids, and his kids said, "You're out of your fucking mind, Dad. Don't do it." So they came back and said, "We're going to give you $100,000 plus a percentage." They said, "No, maybe if it's $1 million." They came back, "All right, $500,000. He goes, "My kid said I could do it at $1 million." I think they came real close to $1 million, and he took it. His kid said, "Okay." He said, "Tom, I never wrote a damn near word in there. I did change. In fact, he showed me the manuscript. I crossed things out that I approved of and this and that, but I never wrote a damn near word. There's certain lines I edited and said, I'm not going to put this in there. I'm not going to. If I killed her, I wouldn't have sliced her head off quite that way. I made it just, I made her die quick by doing it." And he's like, "I'm not writing that." But he crossed things. He actually was going to give me the manuscript to sell with all his cross-outs and shit, but he didn't write a word in there. Some lady wrote it. I don't know who it was. So
they paid him $1 million to read that then.
What's that?
They paid him $1 million to read that.
No, they paid him $1 million to put his name on there.
On the book.
He says he wrote it. He didn't write it. A producer lady wrote most of it with another person.
I mean the interview.
Oh, that was part of the deal. He had to do an interview too and act like he wrote it. But he didn't write it. And, he ended up saving the money. He put the money in his kid's trust account, which he really gave it to them. They paid for college, this and that, or whatever. And that way the Goldmans couldn't get it. But the Goldmans did get the percentage that he was supposed to get after that. He was supposed to get whatever, 10, 12%, right, which added up to a lot of money. The Goldmans like, "Don't read this, it's garbage, it's nonsense." "Oh, Goldmans, you won the rights to it." "Oh, you better read this. It shows the insides of the monster." And then they went on every show saying, the Goldmans, they depositioned me 3 times. They asked where the money is. Do I owe more money to OJ? I'm like, "Listen, I feel sorry your kid died. I don't know the real stories about, you guys were estranged because you were a penny pinching scumbag or whatever it was. I'm talking about the father and the son, whether they're estranged or not or whatever, but it's sad that he died. But chasing everyone down that ever met OJ to try to get pennies here and pennies there isn't going to help get your son back. You know, they called me and subpoenaed me for depositions. I used to feel sorry for them. I don't like them. I think it's, listen, it's horrible what happened to their son. And for a long time, I didn't believe OJ did it. But after talking to Mike Gilbert, the reasons why he did it and everything is not acceptable. But I understand what happened. OJ was on this drug called Prozac, and he was also doing other drugs. And when you go off Prozac, supposedly, I'm not a doctor. I guess there was a monkey that went on Prozac and ripped some lady's face off. You could become either suicidal or homicidal. And that plus the story that Mike Gilbert told me about, OJ had a young boy at the time, a young son. I want to say he's 4 years old. And he had a best friend named Marcus Allen, who was another football player. And the little boy walks in, and his mother, Nicole Brown, is giving a blowjob to OJ's best friend. And the little boy goes, "Mommy, why are you kissing Uncle Marcus's pee-pee?" And Marcus Allen thought that was the funniest shit in the world, told everybody. They got back to OJ, and OJ goes off to Prozac, and OJ becomes enraged. I don't know what the word is, psychotic, and for real. They've interviewed him with psychiatrists and stuff like that. He told his lawyers, he told Mike Gilbert, "I had a dream that I did that to her, but I don't believe I did I?" And he said, crying, "They have my DNA. I did it. Don't say that." His lawyers are saying.
I kind of got into a karate thing. And I said, "Well, you think you can kick my ass?" And I remember I grabbed a knife. I do remember that portion, taking a knife from Charlie. And to be honest, after that, I don't remember. Except I'm standing there and there's all kind of stuff around and
What kind of stuff?
blood and stuff around. I hate to say this, but this is hypothetical. I'm sorry.
Right.
I know we got to back up again.
Right. That's okay. I want to back up.
This is hard.
This is hard. I know. I want to back up
hard
to
try to make people think that I'm